Look at that flame. Alright, I release and it dies. And have to press the pilot. Alright, pressing. So now we're doing a quick test. I want to show you basically if you have your burner assembly out and the Thermopile, you're able to check everybody before you insert it. But nonetheless, right now we're checking the Thermopile, and what we're using is a torch. I do have a torch, and you do need the gas valve assembly, and you're going to insert your leads. Everything is going to be connected just like it was on the water heater, and you're going to be pressing the pilot, holding it down. Then you're going to apply some heat to the Thermopile, and as you do that, you're going to have your meter leads inserted into the positive and negative leads, and you'll watch your meter. It will climb, and you want to be somewhere between, I think, 6 and I think 8. 600 is good. 700 is also good. So I think 6 to 800. Anything in between, I think, is totally fine. And as you'll see, it was perfect, and you'll see the rest of the repair as well. And I just, in case I didn't mention, make sure you set your meter to DC volts. And you pretty much want to put the positive, the red, into the red wire. And also set your meter to millivolts, as you can see. Removed. So he's good. And certain meters, if you don't have millivolts, it's going to be kind of difficult. So we're getting ready now to install the gas valve assembly, and take your time. Make sure you get a good thread. Do not cross thread. And once you've gotten it all the way in as much as you can, don't over torque. What you want to do now, you want to get a 1/2 inch bar and insert it into the threaded area, as you'll see. And we're going to use that as a leverage to tighten it and get it snug down. As you can see, I'm knocking out any potential sediment that might have fallen in. You do have sediments occasionally, so you want to make sure that you do check it. You do not want to get any sediment going into the valve assembly. That could be detrimental to it. If you're not sure, you can also insert a piece of paper or tissue into it, then extracting it after you're done using it. Make sure you check it. Also, guys, just to give you a good idea, that make sure that before you actually remove the gas valve assembly, that you do drain your tank. Turn the gas off, obviously, but you're definitely going to need something, and what we're using here to tighten this is a 1/2 inch. You could use any length. I think that was about maybe 5 inches or so, and you just torque it down, and you just want it to be nice and tight, and you want to check for leaks before you actually finish the job. So you would actually turn the water on and let it fill. And you want to also turn on the hot side and just let it vent. You'll see a lot of bubbles, and it'll be just, bubbles coming out, and you'll hear it when it's all filled up. Say what? Oh, venting well. Yeah. So now we're tightening up our pilot in our gas assembly, and just make a note that once you're getting these hand tight first, then go ahead and use either an adjustable or a 7/16 to get them nice and snug. Do not over tighten. You can always check for leaks afterwards, but just making sure they're nice and snug. So a couple of reasons why you'd be replacing the gas valve assembly is if your pilot is not staying lit, that could be one of them, or the pilot is staying on and you're not able to light the burner, or you may not have any display. So a couple of reasons for that. So normally if your Thermopile is good and all the other components are checked out, then you would move forward to replace that. So now we're getting this all fit back together, and just be mindful that you are applying a lot of force. So just be mindful that you use two adjustables so that you don't have to exert too much force on the gas valve assembly. You do not want to break that thing off now because, of course, you also have a lot of water in the tank and it's just going to be a mess to get out. So be mindful. So have two adjustables, and one is holding the force as you pull or push. And of course, make sure you use adequate pipe dope or pipe thread sealant. Now, when you apply the sealant, make sure that you don't have it in the pathway of the gas. So keep it on the threads, and that's where it should be.
All right, we got a solid water. I can turn it off now.
Oh yeah. All right, so we're going to be installing now the sediment trap. And by the way, that's super important that you have one of those. It can protect your gas valve assembly from contaminants. So, of course, make sure you have adequate amount of thread sealant. Now, keep in mind, you can do a pretty good snug, but do not over tighten. Just get it tight and you'll get a good feel. But if you're not sure, always have two adjustables and always support as you tighten. Don't over hunker down if you don't have a good support. And always add the opposite force. As you pull against, you're pretty much holding your force. You do not want to put any force on that gas assembly. So we're almost done. This is our final piece. And of course, make sure you have generous amount of pipe dope and spread it into joints so that everything gets coated. And this is the one that will accept the gas line. And you do not need any sealant, anything on the actual gas line itself. All those are flared and you do not need to put anything on them. Just make sure you tighten them well. And of course, have two tools here, adjustable, two of them. Once you start to hunker down, make sure you have a support. Very important. least you have good memories, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it's about, really.
You know, and it was back when you could.
Alright, so we're getting ready to wrap this thing up. Just gonna connect the igniter and put back plug the other wires in. Alright guys, so we are lighting now, and I'm going to be turning off the light in the garage, actually closing the door, so we can get a better visual just to see the pilot. It was pretty bright, so I wanted to be able to see what I'm doing or what's going on. Wow, that's sick.
So, needless to say, you know, so I thought, well, I get a new one.
Put a
I'll buy an aftermarket lock.
yeah, they sell what you call well, I heard the like in between.
Pick it up.
Oh,
And
okay.
open the handle, and you can't get to the handle.
Hmm.
So it's totally closed in. But yes, I went to the dealer.